PEDs, performance enhancing drugs. Where can I get me some? Just kidding, Old Guy Inc. does not do PEDs. But here we go again with another athlete testing positive. But this one comes with a little twist, a little bit of honesty perhaps. We're not going to blame it on a tainted supplement. So that's what makes this one interesting. So this was breaking news yesterday. It is not breaking news today, but I just kind of got around to thinking about it overnight this morning and thought I wanted to talk about it a little bit. So if you haven't heard, I'm just going to go ahead and read you kind of some quotes and some of the things here. And I'm not even sure I can pronounce this guy's name right. But anyways, Canadian athlete Nicolas Joyal, help me out there with the pronunciation, somebody, says he failed a drug test and confirmed. So here's a quote for him. So he failed a drug test. And then this is what some of the quotes that he has said. I made the mistake of choosing an illegal method as a way to improve. I knowingly used banned substances for precisely 2 weeks. Okay, so let's dissect that a little bit. So first off, here we go. Not blaming it on kissing his girlfriend or a tainted supplement or just simply, I have no idea what happened. This guy's coming right out and at least admitting. So props to that. I think that's always the way to go. I mean, look at Ricky Gerard. We know that you can lie, and then eventually, for the most part, you can still come back and people will forgive you for the most part, okay? Here's where I'm calling a little bit of bullshit, right? 2 weeks. I mean, I feel like what we've done is we've come out and kind of like tried to play the road. Okay, I'm going to admit it, but then I'm going to tell this little white lie over here about I really only took it for 2 weeks though. So yes, I did it. I'm admitting it. So I want all the praise for being the first person to really come out and be super honest. But I'm really not being super honest. So that's just me, right? I'm not trying to be a hater because let me make that clear. Okay, although I can say, Scout's honor, I have never taken PEDs, I've also never been on the cusp of making it to a professional sports league, the Olympics, the CrossFit Games. So I am not one who's going to sit here and be all high and mighty like a lot of you out there and just talk about all the high moral ground and how much integrity I have and that I would never do that. I've never been put in the situation where that decision could make me a living, could make me a professional athlete, not have to work a job and get sponsors. So I don't know what I would do, but what I'm going to tell you is try just not to be so judgy of people who are in situations that you haven't experienced. And I'm going to give you another hint. That goes for everything in life, okay? If you've got firsthand experience, go ahead, judge away a little bit more. But if you don't have firsthand experience, then you probably shouldn't judge so much. That's just my personal opinion. Don't hate on Old Guy Inc. for that, but that's what I think. Because I'm just not going to lie, some of these other quotes that he's saying, I mean, it just seems a little much here, right? Like, I will no longer have the chance and the honor to say that I am an athlete. I've let down countless people, turned my back on all the people I hold dearest to me, turned my back on the sport, turned my back on integrity, turned my back on the athletes, and given the people who dislike me a valid reason not to like me. Damn. I mean, once again, I don't know. I think that's a little harsh. I think that's somebody who's looking for people to tell them, oh, no, you're wrong. We do still support you. So let me see if you guys understand where I'm going with this. I do not condone PEDs. However, I do have a weird stance. I mean, I look at all of the other sports. I look at how, let's be real. Once again, if this guy's being honest and admitting that he did PEDs, let's be honest as an audience and say to ourselves, we don't give a shit when our favorite NFL, NBA, track star, NHL. I mean, we don't care when our most popular professional sport athletes get caught. right? I mean, let's just be clear, okay? If you're in the NFL, you're doing PEDs. If you're good in the NFL, you're doing lots of PEDs. Certainly in specific positions, it is just completely across the board, right? If you're cycling, if you're in track and field, I mean, anyone who's still living in a day and age that the majority of athletes are clean, you need to wake up. It's just, I don't care if it's CrossFit or not. These are professions. There's money on the line. Anyone who's out there working 9 to 5, hitting the gym 2 to 3 hours a day, multiple sessions, and then all of a sudden you have the opportunity to where you might be able to go professional, quit your job, make a living, and you know damn well if you're in those circles of these high caliber athletes, you look to your left, you look to your right, and you know that a very high percentage of these people who are beating you are using PEDs. I've never been in that situation. And for the most part, I'm assuming most of my viewers haven't either. So I don't know. I just think this is a little much. So I'm not trying to dump on this guy, right? At all. I'm not trying to dump on him at all. What I'm more kind of talking about and maybe kind of giving him a little bit of crap for is what I think is kind of this half-ass admittance. Right? So I am giving him props for admitting that he did PEDs, but I'm just telling you right now, I'm calling bullshit on the 2 weeks. Bullshit on the 2 weeks, okay? Let's see here. He had a couple other quotes in here that I just thought were like, man. Let's see. I knowingly used banned substances for precisely 2 weeks. Bullshit. This singular error will not dictate who I am, nor the last 9 years of my life. Despite all this, the need for help and the state of mind in which I was at the beginning of the year does not excuse anything. Okay, so once again, I'm not busting on him, but you read that there. The need for help and the state of mind in which I was at the beginning of the year. This kind of confuses me a little bit, but I think I know what he's trying to say, but it's a quote. So it sounds like he was going through some sort of emotional, something that was affecting his state of mind that caused him to make this poor decision, but he only made the poor decision for 2 weeks and then he stopped. So the case that he's trying to make is, which if true is a fair case, okay? There's pretty much no PEDs out there that if you take them for 2 weeks are really gonna have any sort of significant or if any long-term effect. For the most part, most PEDs do require a length of time in the system to become effective. Most PEDs, like I'm assuming most people know, they really just allow you to train harder and recover faster. So you still have to put in the work over time. You're not just gonna take PEDs for 2 weeks and then all of a sudden like, whoa, like I'm so much better. So if that's the case, I can understand why he would want everybody to know he just had a momentary lapse in judgment and then 2 weeks later he got his mind right. If he was going through something personal, we all make mistakes, we all go through hard times. So once again, I'm not here to trash on the guy. I'm just here to open the conversation that I'm not sure the 2 weeks is valid or that it's even super important to the story. I mean, you either did it or you didn't. You got caught. You admitted it, and let's just leave it at that. We don't need to go over here to the excuse side. But what I would say is that, Nicholas, don't be so hard on yourself here, right? I mean, I don't think if what you're saying is true, if you were going through a hard time, you have all these pressures of making it to the games, all this money is on the line. Anyone who's willing to put themselves in your shoes, I don't think they're going to think you turned your back on them. I don't think you let down everybody. For starters, I think it's a little presumptuous to think that there's such a group of people who are counting on you somehow to fulfill them, and so you've let them down. I think anybody who understands the stress and the pressure of life, money, competition. I mean, once again, I'm going to keep bringing this back. Like, we want CrossFit to become a professional sport, right? That's the good news, bad news. We then need to look at other professional sports and say, are we really going to act like our professional athletes are different than every other group of professional athletes? And once again, I'm going to keep repeating this. The answer is no. Okay, if Nike or Reebok or Noble or FitAid or TYR or whoever is out there dangling these carrots of money, opportunity, right? Reebok is now offering to make people full-time athletes as certain rewards for how you do at the games. I mean, there's a lot on the line. People make a living now. This changes lives. And all you have to do is do what you know a lot of other people are doing. So, man, I'm just not ready to throw those stones. I have never done it, but once again, I'm going to repeat. I've never been, first of all, I've really never had the opportunity, right? Maybe I've just never known the right people, but I've never had the opportunity. I've never had the opportunity presented to me, and I've never had a reason for where Old Guy Inc., I think I could take all the PEDs in the world. I'm not becoming a professional athlete. I'm not making it to the games. Sorry. It's not going to make a difference. It might make me a little better, but I've been lucky enough to just maybe be in a position where I'm not good enough to have to make these tough decisions. Now, I'm not saying there aren't athletes that are clean and that are good enough to do it without being clean. I'm not saying that. What I'm just saying is a lot of athletes are using, and I think it's a decision that a lot of athletes have to make. And I don't think that we need to be judging athletes for making the decision to use PEDs, but I am all for judging how they react when they get caught. So once again, that's kind of more what I'm trying to talk about here. I mean, this is why I don't like the 2 weeks. I wish he would have just left the 2 weeks out. Where is it? And simply said, look, I knowingly used banned substances. The end. Right here. This one's from Box Rocks magazine. So I'll put a link to these articles from Morning Chalk Up and Box Rocks. But I like this quote here from Box Rocks because it's a little bit different. Right here it is. So this is something he shared Nicholas shared on his Instagram. I made the mistake of choosing an illegal method as a way to improve. I knowingly used banned substances. Stop. Don't put in the last 4 words. For precisely 2 weeks. That's kind of like, I'm sorry, but it really didn't help me. I'm sorry, I did it, but not really because it was only for 2 weeks. He knows, his publicist knows, that anyone who knows anything about PEDs knows that if you really only did them for 2 weeks, you're not going to get a benefit. Okay, so I just don't like that part. Why not just come out like Old Guy Inc. and say what I just said? Say, look, I fucked up. The pressure got to me, okay? I wanted to quit my job. I was this close. I had money on the line. I had sponsorships. Reebok just came out with the new incentive programs. Like, I know what's on the line. The pressure got to me. I decided to take the risk. I got caught. Now I got to pay the piper. The end. Like, there's a lot of things in life where you weigh the pros and the cons. You weigh the outcome and the consequences. And sometimes you roll those dice, okay? And if you don't get lucky, it sucks. But you just go, oh, well. Once again, I think all the people who are close to you and the people that understand the pressures and what's on the line, we all make mistakes, right? And Old Guy Inc. will tell you, the older you get, the more mistakes you'll make and the more you'll understand and hopefully be compassionate of other people's mistakes. Life is hard. There's a lot of pressure out there, and we don't always need to make excuses. It's okay to just be like, shit. I mean, look back, man, I've made some poor decisions in my life. I've made decisions that I'm like, what the hell were you thinking, right? PEDs isn't one of them for me, but I've already admitted I haven't been in the situation where I had a lot of money on the line. So anyways, that's kind of my take on that. I don't know exactly what's going to happen unless I missed it today. You know, the sanctions for Nicholas haven't come out yet. But if you want to read a little bit more about these articles or see these quotes for yourself, then I will put, once again, the link to these 2 articles in the description. But just food for thought, right? I'm not condoning PEDs, so don't hit me up in the comments and be a hater. I think when we act like we're so disappointed in an athlete or even they're acting like they're so disappointed and they've let everybody down, it just makes me feel like we're kind of living with blinders on and we're not understanding that the game, that you don't understand the game, and how prevalent PEDs are in all sports, CrossFit included, right? I'm in the CrossFit Masters. You don't think that tons of athletes out there are abusing TRT therapy, right? Okay, like I'm 50 years old. All I got to do is go into my doctor, say the right few symptoms. Wait, I don't even have to go into the doctor. Telemedicine, baby. All I got to do is get on the internet, set up a little bit of a Google Meet or something, right, with a PA, and say that I have a little fatigue, right? I just can't get it up quite as much. My libido's not quite as good. I'm a little tired. And boom, I'm on TRT. Old Guy Inc. is going to crush the 50 to 54, okay? But I got nothing on the line. I don't care. What's it going to do for me? It's going to make me a little bit better than what I am. I am trying to qualify for Legends this year. Maybe that's my ticket. But anyways, the point is, shout out to everybody out there who is trying their best and refuses to use PEDs, whether you've been given the opportunity or not. I do condone you. I do think it's hard. And man, Old Guy Inc. just tries to be a little bit compassionate. So Nicholas, sorry. If you really did only do it for 2 weeks, I'm not trying to hate on you. I just wish you would have left that part out and maybe just been the first athlete to be like, caught red-handed, the end. Anyways, what do you guys think? Hit me up, hit subscribe, drop a comment. I'd appreciate it. Keep doing it out there, guys.